This exhibition features a carefully selected collection of American baseball memorabilia. With a hint of nostalgia, the guest recounts the story of how the items came into his family, courtesy of his maternal great-grandfather, the legendary baseball figure Ned Hanlon. Ned Hanlon was a trailblazing baseball player and manager who left an indelible mark on the game, leading his teams to multiple championships and introducing innovative strategies. His contributions to baseball extend far beyond his on-field accomplishments, shaping the modern game and inspiring generations of players and coaches.
But he was known to create the force play for the bunt. There was some story about him creating the foul lines to have an angle so the ball wouldn't roll out of bounds so easy.
Today, Hanlon's legacy is revered by baseball aficionados and historians, a testament to his passion, commitment, and pursuit of excellence. These items, intimately connected to the legend, are in fact championship lapel pins.
These two up here, this is from 1894, this one with the one baseball right there, and this one right here with the two, 1895, that's their second in a row.
Among the collection, this lapel pin is notably more ornate, boasting 3 precious gems of remarkable quality.
So you got 3 little gems in there, the ruby for 1894, the sapphire for 1895, and the diamond for 1896.
A delicate flourish of engraving on the back of each lapel pin adds a touch of elegance and sophistication. Also noteworthy are the baseball bat and ball cufflinks, which round out the collection with their refined charm. These cufflinks have traveled through time and distance, originating from Brooklyn in the year 1900. In the world of baseball collectibles, these 1890s Baltimore Orioles items are the holy grail, rare, precious, and steeped in the nostalgia of a bygone era. Based on a thorough appraisal, the insurance value of this remarkable collection is estimated to be
I would appraise it at $200,000.
Oh my God. No, that's really unexpected. Wow.
Suspended in time, these 2 baseball uniforms tell the tale of bygone eras, their threads woven with the stories of the players who wore them. Growing up in a baseball family, the guest's father having played the game at its highest level, he was destined to be around the sport, and his time as a clubhouse boy yielded a special keepsake, these uniforms.
And after the league ended 3 years later, the uniforms were just left. And honestly, I didn't think much about these uniforms until years later.
These historic uniforms are original Major League Baseball jerseys from the American League, with the first piece honoring the legendary career of Whitey Ford. Whitey Ford, the chairman of the board, was a dominant force on the mound, leading the New York Yankees to 6 World Series championships and earning a reputation as one of the greatest left-handed pitchers in baseball history. With a wicked curveball and pinpoint control, Ford's impressive 16-year career was marked by a remarkable 236 wins, 10 All-Star appearances, and a lasting legacy as a true Yankees legend. The second uniform on display is a testament to the enduring legacy of Yogi Berra. Yogi Berra, the irrepressible and iconic catcher, left an indelible mark on baseball history with his unparalleled 10 World Series championships, 3 American League MVP awards, and a legacy of wit and wisdom that continues to inspire generations. Thanks to his unique blend of humility, humor, and heroism, Yogi Berra transcended the sport, becoming a beloved cultural icon whose name is synonymous with the very essence of baseball. Upon closer inspection, Whitey Ford's uniform reveals certain condition issues, including noticeable stains and alterations.
And here's Whitey Ford. Here's his uniform. This is very common for the time, stitching, and there's no reason for them to take it out. But as you said, they took the NY out of here and they put a K on.
Next, we have Yogi Berra's 1951 uniform, which exhibits characteristics suggesting it remained unused by another baseball player, as evidenced by the absence of alterations. The passage of time has also left its mark on Yogi Berra's uniform, as seen in this small tear and minor discoloration. Collectors highly prize jerseys of this caliber, and the Whitey Ford uniform is no exception. Even in its current state, it would likely command an insurance value of
$30,000 on it.
Oh my.
Moving on to the Yogi Berra uniform, its exceptional condition and unaltered state render it a truly valuable artifact, with an estimated insurance value of
I would place an insurance value of $100,000 on this jersey.
My. I wouldn't know. I really don't know what to say about that. That's amazing.
Like a beacon of excellence, this medallion shines brightly, its intricate design and craftsmanship a testament to the outstanding achievements it represents. The medallion has a personal connection to the guest, as it honors his grandfather, the accomplished Dave Danforth.
Dave was, and we all called him Dave, he was never grandfather to any one of the many grandchildren. He enjoyed life, he never quite grew up, even after he finished playing ball.
Dave Danforth's remarkable life was a testament to his unwavering dedication and unrelenting passion, as he paved his own path to greatness through sheer force of will. As a trailblazer in his field, he made a lasting impact in the world of baseball, inspiring countless others to follow in his footsteps. Today, his legacy lives on through the countless lives he touched, including that of his proud grandson, who continues to draw inspiration from his grandfather's remarkable achievements. This medallion represents the pinnacle of achievement in baseball, commemorating the White Sox's triumphant 1917 World Series championship season, in which Dave Danforth played a vital role.
His best year was 1970. He was 11-6. He was a phenomenal relief pitcher. He was a big reason why the Chicago White Sox went 154.
As a relic from an earlier time, this medallion is a rare and precious artifact, distinguishing itself from the more impressively sized rings that have become the norm in modern championship celebrations. The medallion is accented with a quarter-carat diamond of exceptional brilliance. And with the engraved name of Dave Danforth, the medallion bears the mark of its illustrious past, authenticating its connection to the legendary baseball player. Given its exceptional provenance and rarity, this remarkable piece is expected to fetch
Of probably $40,000 to $60,000 on it today.
You're kidding. Wow.
This aged baseball, bearing the scars of time, stands as a poignant reminder of the sport's rich heritage. The guest treasures this baseball, not only for its historical significance, but also for the sentimental value it holds, being a gift from his beloved grandfather.
It was given to him originally by a groundskeeper that worked for Ebbets Field, which was in Brooklyn, New York, where my grandfather's originally from.
The date, June 23, 1859, is prominently displayed on the baseball, attending to its age and authenticity. As a way to memorialize their matches, players during this time would stamp their baseballs, leaving behind a lasting record, such as the one seen here. With its rich history and nostalgic charm, this baseball is forever linked to the Brooklyn Atlantics, a team that embodied the spirit of the game. As one of the first teams to popularize baseball in the mid-19th century, the Brooklyn Atlantics played a pivotal role in shaping the sport's early narrative. This baseball is a rare and valuable artifact from the pre-Civil War era, a true historical treasure. As you'd expect from a baseball this old, there are some condition issues, but they don't detract from its significance. Back then, baseballs were handmade, and this one's no exception, with its hand-stitched seams. The baseball's impressive heritage and historical significance contribute to its substantial auction value, which is expected to reach.
This ball has a value of $20,000 plus.
Really? Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Presented here is a rare and fascinating signed vintage baseball, evoking memories of a bygone era. The provenance of this baseball is nothing short of remarkable, with a direct link to the iconic Honus Wagner, who personally gifted it to the guest's uncle. Born Johannes Peter Wagner in 1874, Honus grew up in a family of modest means, working in the coal mines and playing baseball on the side. But it was on the diamond that Wagner truly came alive, his lightning-quick reflexes, razor-sharp instincts, and cannon-like arm making him a force to be reckoned with. Wagner's professional career spanned 21 seasons, during which he played for the Louisville Colonels and the Pittsburgh Pirates. He was a key member of the Pirates' 1909 World Series championship team, and was named the National League's most valuable player in 1911. But Wagner's impact on the game went far beyond his impressive statistics. He was one of the first superstars of the game, a larger-than-life figure who captivated fans with his charisma, humility, and incredible talent. He was also a pioneer, helping to establish the shortstop position as a critical component of a team's defense. The fact that this baseball has Honus Wagner's autograph on it makes it extremely rare and valuable, in addition to its rarity and historical significance. The baseball's excellent condition supports an insurance valuation of.
We insure a baseball like this for about $20,000.
Really?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, it's an investment grade item.
All right. Well.
Take a trip down memory lane with this fantastic collection of photographs and postcards from the 1932 Lake Placid Winter Olympics. These images of the 1932 Lake Placid Winter Olympics were captured by the guest's father, a seasoned photographer with a keen eye for detail and composition.
There's 400 plus different images here. He took them as a press photographer, and they're numbered so that people could actually pick out and order which ones they wanted. He could fulfill those orders.
In the midst of economic turmoil, the 1932 Lake Placid Winter Olympics shone brightly, a testament to the transformative power of sports. With the eyes of the world upon them, athletes from 17 nations gathered in Lake Placid, New York, to compete in 14 events and forge unforgettable memories. The Games were a groundbreaking moment in American sports history, marking the first time the Winter Games were held outside of Europe. As the world's top winter athletes competed in events like figure skating and alpine skiing, they brought with them a sense of wonder, excitement, and friendly competition. The resulting spectacle was nothing short of enchanting, forever cementing Lake Placid's reputation as a winter sports mecca. Despite the challenges posed by the Great Depression, the Games were a resounding success, inspiring a generation with their courage and perseverance. The legacy of the 1932 Lake Placid Winter Olympics continues to captivate and inspire, reminding us of the enduring magic of the Winter Games. This extensive collection of 400-plus photographs, carefully catalogued by the guest's father, is expected to generate considerable interest at auction, with an estimated value of
Put an estimate at auction for this archive at $15,000 to $20,000.
Oh, that is so nice. That is a wonderful figure.
It's not every day you come across a vintage photo with so many autographs. It's a real find. In an era when athletes were more approachable, the guest's grandfather seized the opportunity to have the Philadelphia Athletics team sign this photograph, creating a truly unique and valuable keepsake. The Philadelphia Athletics were a force to be reckoned with in the early 20th century, boasting a roster of legendary players like Connie Mack, Eddie Collins, and Home Run Baker. With their iconic white uniforms and classic ballpark, Shibe Park, the A's were a beloved fixture in the city of brotherly love. From 1901 to 1954, the Athletics brought excitement and joy to generations of Philadelphia fans, winning 5 World Series titles and cementing their place in baseball history. Frozen in time, this photograph captures the essence of the 1929 Philadelphia Athletics team, a group of talented players who don the iconic white uniforms with pride. Notably, the photograph also includes the team's owner and manager, the legendary Connie Mack, a prominent figure in the history of the Philadelphia Athletics. Among the notable players depicted in the photograph is the illustrious Mickey Cochrane, a highly accomplished catcher and Hall of Famer.
Mickey Cochrane hit .320 lifetime as a catcher. Today, it's still Major League highest batting average for a catcher. He won MVP in 28 and 1934. I mean, this was a pretty special guy.
This photo also features the legendary Lefty Grove, a 7-time All-Star and 2-time American League ERA leader, who is widely regarded as one of the greatest pitchers in baseball history.
Lefty Grove won 300 games. He led in strikeouts 7 years, ERA 9 years. This guy was a super ball player, perfect Hall of Famer.
Considering it's almost a century old, this photograph is in incredible shape. The combination of this photograph's rarity, historical importance, and comprehensive autograph collection makes it a truly unique and valuable artifact, with an estimated worth of
This one I'd put an auction estimate on of $15,000 to $20,000, and then I'd let the dice roll. Because some guy is going to come in there, or 2 or 3 or 4 or 5 people, and say, I have to have this because it is so special.
Our focus is drawn to a remarkable signed vintage baseball item, imbued with a distinct character and story that sets it apart. The guest inherited this piece from her father, but its significance nearly went unnoticed until her husband detected the autograph and suggested it be appraised.
And I've had it since a child. I'm embarrassed to say that it was in a basket in the garage for over 20 years at my house, along with soccer balls and basketballs and dog toys.
This baseball bears the signature of the illustrious Walter Johnson, a legendary figure in the history of the game. Walter Johnson, the Big Train, was a force of nature on the pitcher's mound. With a blazing fastball that earned him his nickname, Johnson dominated hitters for over 2 decades, leaving a lasting mark on the game. Born in 1887 in Humboldt, Kansas, Johnson's journey to baseball immortality began with a humble start, playing for local teams before joining the Washington Senators in 1907. This baseball is estimated to date back to the 1920s, a period of significant cultural and athletic significance. It is worth mentioning that this baseball does not conform to official American League specifications, instead being a smaller, youth-oriented ball. Despite being nearly a century old, this baseball exhibits a remarkable state of preservation, defying the expectations of its age. Given its rarity, condition, and historical significance, a suitable insurance value for this item would be,
For insurance purposes, of $10,000.
Whoa, are you serious? That's amazing. That's great.
The guest grandmother purchased this Smyrna wool rug in London in the early 1960s.
The receipt says it was made around 1700 in Asia Minor. It mentions Transylvania.
The rug was made circa 1650 to 1700 in Anatolia, Turkey. It features a saffron gold background with intricate blue, white, and red floral motifs.
Subsequently, out of his New York office. The rug is actually Turkish. It was made circa 1650, really to 1700. So the 1700 date given in the receipt and the catalog.
Additionally, the rug is constructed with a wool knotted pile on a wool foundation. Upon inspecting the center of the rug, we can see evidence of reweaving. Originally, the rug was twice its current length, but due to restoration work, it was halved. Despite these restorations, the piece remains in good condition and is estimated to be worth.
If this piece came up for auction today, it would be conservatively estimated in the $35,000 to $50,000 range.
Wow.
And that's mainly due to this big reweave that goes across the rug.
This guest presented a Persian bowl she acquired from her uncle. This piece dates back to the early 18th century from the Safavid dynasty period.
He liked beautiful objects.
And have you any idea what it is?
I just know that it's a Persian bowl, and that's about it.
Well, it is Persian, and it's from the Safavid dynasty period.
Its border comes from a sort of Chinese origin.
The Safavids were a mixed dynasty. They came from Kurdistan, I believe, and then settled in Ardabil. They ended up being a very powerful dynasty. They were also Sufis. Sufism is another dimension of Islam.
As seen, it depicts the face of the sun and birds, which was one of the favorite images of that period. What's special about this bowl is that it's large compared to the usual ones. Also, this piece is a stoneware bowl, and it looks like porcelain on the inside. Underneath this piece is a treacly thick glaze which runs downward. Well preserved and in good condition, this piece would auction for...
A conservative estimate for this retail would be between $15,000 and $17,000.
Oh, that's amazing.
Only a few people could boast of having an item like this. It's a signed postcard by legendary musician Elvis Presley. This postcard is a signed piece of art because it is all hand-done, and not many folks can boast about having a reputable item like this in their arsenal. The postcard was signed in 1956 at the start of Elvis's career.
I guess connected with them, and she was selected. So the Vogue store was very excited about it, and so they donated the dress and the outfits for her.
We also have a picture that shows Elvis signing the postcard. This moment in Elvis's career was quite a defining moment because it went on to shape his fame.
But it was a really big moment in her life.
Not only is this an amazing piece of Elvis Presley memorabilia, it's also a piece of art because, as you said, this is all hand done.
At auction, this postcard would retail at the price of...
At auction, conservatively, I would estimate this at $3,000 to $5,000.
Wow.
Yes. Yes.
A glimpse at these bracelets communicate exquisiteness. These bracelets are crafted from premium materials like silver and gold, and they were created in 1975 by Charles Laloma. The bracelets are made from a unique method called sand casting.
She gave them to her daughter-in-law, and actually, I have to confess, my mother-in-law gave them to my daughter, but I didn't trust her with them, so I took them from her.
Which particularly makes them so alluring to viewers. These bracelets are a fascinating piece of jewelry, and they are both original, thanks to the receipt that came with them.
A piece of rock is cut into a flat slab, and the bracelet is carved out flat in the rock. And then the silver or the gold is poured into that channel that's carved into the rock.
At a suitable auction, these beautiful bracelets of Native American origin would auction at...
Examples, a sterling piece with turquoise and a gold piece with turquoise. Walk into a gallery, try to buy one of these, $20,000, $40,000.
Holy moly!
Before us is a decorative vessel with colorful enamel designs. The guest inherited this Japanese cloisonné jar from his father.
Particularly from the late 19th century and early 20th century, which is the time frame in which this was made.
The item was made during the Meiji era, 1868 to 1912, a period known for high-quality craftsmanship in cloisonné by the Japanese. The Japanese cloisonné was inspired by a foreigner named Gottfried Wagner, a German chemist known as a great leader in the chemical industry and arts and crafts in Japan during the Meiji era. What sets this item apart is the use of fine silver wires to create designs with enamel. The designs include floral patterns, birds, and other nature-inspired themes.
Not something that he made necessarily, but something that is the product of his discoveries.
Despite its age, this jar is in excellent condition. With its beauty and historical value undeterred, at an auction it would fetch...
You have an idea?
No, none whatsoever.
Oh, you don't want to guess?
$1,000.
Try about $8,000.
Wow.
Imagine a grand celebration with the pinnacle of success gleaming from this sterling silver trophy tray. This distinguished trophy was acquired by the guest's great-grandfather at the 1919 Belmont Stakes. It was awarded following a victory of his horse, Mr. Barton.
He blew it away. He got the first race. So then they,
Right.
So then they ran him for the other races, but he was always a difficult horse, and he ran in spite of his sore feet.
The tray features an inscription of the owner's name and is exquisitely crafted from sterling silver, enhancing its value not only because of the precious material, but also for its exceptional durability and brilliant luster. The condition of this tray is meticulously maintained, contributing to its significant auction value of...
We would place an auction estimate on the tray at $15,000 to $25,000.
Wow. Wow.
This Tiffany Favril glass bowl, passed down to the guest by her grandmother, is a beautiful example of early 20th century craftsmanship. It bears the initials LCT on the bottom, indicating it was created by Louis Comfort Tiffany, an American artist and designer who worked in the decorative arts and is best known for his work in stained glass. This piece is made of Favril glass and includes a finger bowl with an underplate.
It was made about 1905, so about the early part of the 20th century. It's Favril glass,
Showcasing its elegance and historical significance. While its value was higher a few years ago, it still holds considerable worth today, due to its timeless appeal and association with the renowned Tiffany name, and its worth...
At auction, $500 to $800. Yeah. And if you were going to insure it, I might insure it for just a little bit more.
If you saw these items from afar, you would think they were realistic fish, but these are decoys. These fish decoys are masterpieces of art because they look so realistic. Fish decoys were used in fishing to spear bigger fish.
This is an Oscar Peterson fish decoy. They used them to fish through holes in the ice.
These decoys would be placed on a hook to confuse the bigger fish right before it is speared. When we take a look at these decoys, they're in quite fantastic condition.
People love his carving, and it's a very distinctive way that he did the head with the eyes and the mouth.
These decoys are beautiful and well made. At an auction, these realistic fish decoys would retail at the price of...
Because the Oscar Peterson in a retail setting is probably worth $1,000.
Wow.
This is quite the item for many collectors. It represents one of the earliest forms of cameras ever presented on the Roadshow. This camera was made in 1910 from mahogany wood, and interestingly enough, it was handmade. Another aspect of this camera is that it resembles aerial cameras used by the military. It's quite a fascinating camera that you don't see often. The camera is also well equipped with parts to enhance its functions.
So, handmade, but with parts he probably either cannibalized or purchased from camera places, camera companies, in order to make it happen. Now here we have a viewfinder.
This finely finished handmade mahogany camera at auction would retail at the price of...
I'd put this somewhere, retail, maybe in the $2,000 to $3,000 range.
Good. That's wonderful.
Aside from the fact that this piece of gold is an item of beauty, it is also a piece of history. This jewelry was mined during the California gold rush around 1880, and because of this, the jewelry is quite rare. Gold at that time was quite a scarce commodity and came in only two forms, the nuggets and dust-like particles.
Most of the gold that came from the California finds came up as these little bits of these little flakes, tiny little flakes.
This jewelry contains a mixture of both, which makes it especially rare.
Actually, this is pretty interesting because he's got both kinds here.
It is quite a historical masterpiece. If this jewelry was to be sold at an auction as an original piece of gold, it would retail at...
I would give this an auction estimate of $1,500 to $2,500.
Oh, you're kidding! I just don't believe that.
Before us is a vintage ring with a central, vibrant green stone housed in a box. The guest inherited this ring as an heirloom. The jade stone was initially acquired in 1938 at the World Fair in San Francisco.
It's been set by Granite Brothers, who is a really reputable jeweler.
That was the jewelry,
yes,
quite frankly.
Exactly. The setting is beautiful. It's a platinum and diamond setting.
The jade stone was set and accented with diamonds to form a ring by the Granite Brothers, a prestigious jewelry store in San Francisco, one of the largest at the time. This piece is extremely rare, especially because the jade stone is untreated, confirming its naturalness.
Or it's been dyed. It's normally just an enhancement of a green that's already there. And there are a few folks in the U.S. who are able to determine whether or not a jade stone has been treated. But we normally say prior to the 1950s, 1960s.
Looking closely, we can see the item is in unbelievably good condition. So at auction, this timeless jade and diamond ring of exquisite craftsmanship would fetch...
At auction today, an auction is a fair market value. We would probably use an estimate of about $4,000 to $6,000.
Oh my.
The iconic granite faces of 4 American presidents as Mount Rushmore are a national treasure. This memorial, completed between 1927 and 1941, was designed by sculptor Gutzon Borglum. Borglum was an American sculptor best known for his work on Mount Rushmore. Sculpted is the face of the first president of the United States, George Washington. Along with the face of the first president is that of the third president of the United States, Thomas Jefferson. The third individual is an American politician, soldier, and statesman who served as the 26th president of the United States, Theodore Roosevelt. The last individual sculpted is the United States' 16th president, most famous for issuing the Emancipation Proclamation that declared slaves free forever, Abraham Lincoln. These historic sculptures capture the legacy of these presidents and their impact on American history.
Not as universally as Washington, but he still is. Therefore, Lincoln prints are going to be very desirable.
They also provide expert insights into their value and significance. Mount Rushmore serves as a fitting backdrop for this exploration of American heritage. A seemingly unremarkable chair was brought in by the guest, who referred to it as a boudoir chair, but was unsure of the exact term. It is a family heirloom, possibly used as a potty chair, and that it originated in England. The chair is actually a rare 350-year-old William and Mary Great chair, crafted from elmwood in England between 1640 and 1660. Unlike most furniture of the era made by cabinet makers, this piece was entirely created by a turner, with all the parts meticulously shaped on a hand lathe. You can see the visible scribe lines, layout marks, and lack of nails or screws as evidence of this unique craftsmanship. Another interesting detail is a late 19th century repair with a square nut, indicating the chair's history of care and use. It was an early predecessor of the wing chair, with a design that foreshadowed the familiar upholstered chairs with wingbacks seen in later periods. The chair was previously used as a potty chair, evident by this circular opening in the seat that would have accommodated a chamber pot. The utilitarian nature of the chair made it even more versatile, as it could also be used as an invalid chair in bedrooms. Despite a later slip seat and some minor repairs, the chair remained in good condition. At auction, it is estimated to fetch...
At auction, we'd say $4,000 to $8,000.
No way.
Absolutely. Now, I don't want to ruin your day, but because this is such a rare chair, if it was American, we'd probably say $150,000 to $250,000.
Stunning diamond ring that had been in her family for generations. The large single stone ring intimidated the guest due to its size. The stone is an antique, likely cut sometime between 1920 and 1930. It was a spready stone, meaning it appeared larger than its carat weight because it was cut with a shallow depth. However, the cut was beautiful and created a unique play of light. The setting, however, was a bit younger than the stone. It is estimated to be from the 1940s or 1950s. Interestingly, the ring had originally been painted with 18-karat gold to cover the underlying platinum setting. The guest had this plating removed, revealing the more desirable platinum beneath. The diamond itself was graded M in color, which meant it had a slight yellowish tint. However, the clarity was exceptional, graded VVS2, indicating very few inclusions. This high clarity rating was a significant factor in the ring's value. Considering all these aspects, the insurance value on the ring is...
Today, I would say that an insurance value that would be more appropriate would probably be about $65,000.
No way.
Yeah.
The vase had belonged to the guest's grandfather, a history buff with a particular interest in the American West. This Rookwood pottery vase is a 1901 piece depicting Big Bow, a Kiowa Indian chief. The artist was Grace Young, known for her Native American portrait vases for Rookwood. At the bottom, you can see the Rookwood mark up at the top and the mark with a 1 for 1901. There is Big Bow, Kiowa, and then we have the artist's signature inscription there. Interestingly, the vase was marked with an X on the bottom, signifying it was a second. A piece that didn't meet Rookwood's quality standards for their main showroom, likely due to a minor manufacturing flaw. While the guest mentioned a previous appraisal of $700, the value currently is much higher at...
The conservative auction estimate would be between $6,000 and $9,000.
Oh, my goodness. $6,000 to $9,000. Oh.
These portraits brought in today by the guest hold significant meaning to her. The history behind the portraits is that they are of the guest's great-great-great-grandparents, done by a popular American portraitist named Zedekiah Belknap of the late 1700s and early 1800s. These portraits have characteristics of his work. One such characteristic is that the paintings are done on poplar panels. Done in 1813, this portrait commemorates the wedding ceremony of the subjects.
One of them is they were done on their wedding day, which makes them very young and very cheerful.
Typical characteristics of 19th century dress can also be seen on the subjects painted.
He has the blue jacket, but that dash of red going around it with the wonderful bow on his shirt.
At auction today, this wonderful 19th century portrait would be worth...
I would say that they have a value of between $8,000 and $12,000 for the pair.
Her father, a collector of antique toys and construction equipment, had acquired it at a show 20 to 25 years ago. The guest instantly fell in love with the piece and jokingly admitted to stealing it from her father's collection. The model is a rare and exceptional item. It was most likely a salesman's sample meticulously crafted to showcase the intricate workings of a real road grader to potential customers. The details are incredible. The rotating wheels made of cast aluminum, brass parts, and even a tiny wooden plank bed. Every component, from the blade to the ratcheting axle, moved flawlessly, demonstrating the functionality of the machine. The value of such a unique piece was difficult to determine. While similar salesmen's samples have appeared in auctions, this particular model's exceptional quality set it apart. Its value at auction is...
At such a sale, I could see a piece like this bringing somewhere, between $5,000 and $6,000.
However, at a recent auction, the price increased to $6,500.
And then maybe more. It's just because it is truly extraordinary. I mean, I've just never seen such an amazing piece of equipment.
Before the advent of refrigeration, this item was used in American kitchens to store foodstuffs. Known as a crock, this item was made for a Mr. Chappelle, whose name is inscribed on it.
Have you tried to do any research on Chappell at all?
He had a general store in Kentucky. He lived to about 1880, 1890. That's all I know.
The time this crock was made can be said to be circa 1880. It was made in western Pennsylvania, which was known as one of the major production areas for these kinds of items.
The crock manufacturers would take orders from people who were retailers, and Mr. Chappell ordered this 10-gallon crock.
This crock is made of stoneware, a durable, economical ceramic that remains watertight even without a glaze. A manufacturing flaw known as a dimple can be seen on the crock, as well as some designs etched on it, which also serve to add beauty to its craftsmanship. This crock is a fine example of well-crafted pottery, and due to the history it represents, would be valued at...
So a good auction value of this would be around $2,000.
What? I'm not going to say, oh wow, but oh wow. Wow, really?
Although they may seem like pure models, these items are actually toys made of cast iron. We're presented with a tally-ho coach and a 3-seat brake. The company that made the 3-seat brake is called Hubley and was based in Lancaster, Pennsylvania, while the one that made the tally-ho coach is called Carpenter.
This was made by Hubley in Lancaster, Pennsylvania, and this one was made by Carpenter, who is one of the really classic toy makers of the 1890s.
Minor work has been done on the Hubley 3-seat brake, including some of the figures being recast. Both toys, however, have fine mechanisms that make it look like the horses are galloping when moved.
Of course, it had that great galloping action. This is the way Hubley had these horses gallop, so it really gave nice, realistic motion.
The minor work done on the 3-seat brake has affected its value, and in today's market, it would be worth...
Because it has a couple of problems, which I'll tell you about, is worth about $5,000 to $7,000.
The tally-ho coach is quite rare, and not many of its type have survived, which significantly affects its value, making it worth...
This toy, I would say, in this condition, would be worth in the $8,000 to $10,000 range.
Oh.
This jewelry set is more than it seems at first glance, as it embodies the elegance of mid-20th century design.
The style influencing it is very much retro, World War II period. The ring could have been made a little bit after that, into the early 50s. It's got what we call calibrated sapphires. Those are those little square-cut sapphires.
This ring features a stunning 1.80 carat center sapphire, and it is surrounded by calibrated square-cut sapphires and old mine diamonds. The meticulous craftsmanship is evident in the teardrop platinum work on the shank and shoulders, which adds an extra touch of beauty to this piece. Accompanying this ring is a matching bracelet, which showcases a combination of calibrated square sapphires and old mine diamonds set in palladium, a metal commonly used during wartime due to its similarity to platinum but lighter weight.
In this bracelet, you have about 2.5 carats of sapphires and about 1.5 carats of diamonds. In the other piece, we figured 1.80 carats for the center sapphire.
Together, these exquisite pieces of jewelry would auction for...
At auction, the bracelet's $4,000 to $6,000, okay? And then we give you a price at auction for the ring, I would say $10,000 to $12,000.
Really?
Seriously.
Oh my goodness!
To most grown-ups, a bunny is just a toy, but to a child, it is a companion, a confidant, and a source of comfort. This guest got it for his son's first Easter celebration. The piece was made by Lionel Company, an American toy manufacturer, and holding company of retailers that was founded in 1900.
Another big factor about this is that they made 2 different boxes for this. And this is very plain, but it's the more unusual of the 2 that they just made for Easter. Oh.
Lionel specialed in various products throughout its existence, but toy and model railroads were its main claim to fame. Serving as a symbol of love and connection, this piece would sell for...
So we roll that all together, and drum roll please, what we come up with is about $1,000 to $1,200. Oh my goodness, for this little toy? Exactly.
In America, this intricate art form took on a new life with crests and pieces. This filigree crest was a gift to the guest from her aunt before she passed away.
So I tried to do some research on that, and it's a crest from the families of Jackson and Phillips. And when I did some of my research on that, I found a Jackson family that had married into the Shapley family, and so that's how it came down to me.
Dating back to 1734, this item was crafted from paper in America. It consists of tightly wound papers arranged side by side. Furthermore, it bears the combined coat of arms of two families.
Is wound very tightly and inserted in next to each other. You do have the two coats of arms coming together.
On the left side, we see the arms of the lion rampant under the name Philip. And on the right side is the arms of the lion rampant under the name Jackson. Although made from paper, this crest has been wonderfully preserved. This crest served not just as a decorative piece, but as a significant part of American history, and it's estimated to be worth...
We think an auction estimate should be in the range of $30,000 to $50,000.
Well, happy birthday to me.
Happy birthday to you.
This painting was passed down to the guest from his mother-in-law. The piece likely dates from between 1800 and 1830. It depicts a serene riverside scene featuring two children playing and two adults engaged in conversation. Although it bears similarities to several American paintings of the same period and quality, it is more likely English in origin. The distinction in value between American and English artworks of this style is significant. For instance, an American painting of similar quality and age, such as one known to be from Philadelphia with verified provenance, might be worth $30,000 to $40,000. However, this English piece, despite its comparable artistic merit, would likely fetch...
As an English sampler, it would probably sell for about $3,000 to $5,000 at retail.
Great.
So it pays to be American.
That's terrific, though.
This item is a cool ship model. The guest snagged it at an auction for just $175. His wife saw it and thought it would be a neat pond yacht. It's from a long tradition of sailors' crafts. They'd carve these during long voyages, often for extra cash. The expert says this piece is older, likely carved around 1900. It's not a typical American boat. Its unique appearance makes it even more collectible.
I have to tell you, you don't have an American boat, though. You have a foreign piece. So this was probably a sailor that traveled the seas to Asia somewhere.
The wood hints at its origin. Teak and bamboo point to Asia. Model ships are hot collectibles. Wonder what this is worth? Experts' jaw drops. Potentially worth...
It would be worth even a little bit more.
Right.
But your $175 actually should be worth an investment of about $5,000 to $7,000.
Wow. Thank you. That's great. It really is.
Updated price of this piece is a mere $300 to $500. This 1937 Martin guitar, model D18, belonged to the guest's father, who purchased it new from a music store in Shawnee, Oklahoma.
So you remember the instrument being around the house as a child?
Yeah. I was never allowed to touch it.
This model, known for its simplicity and minimal ornamentation, has become highly desirable among professional musicians over time. Despite having some alterations, including filled holes on the top, repairs on the side, and some finish touch-ups, the instrument remains free of cracks and is structurally sound. The quality of the repair work has kept it in excellent playing condition. While alterations typically affect a guitar's value significantly, the prized sound of the Martin D18 ensures it still holds substantial worth, and it's valued at...
It's a very nice thing, very desirable. I think its value would be $12,000 to $14,000. It is the right year and the right model. If it were...
Guest found this beauty in Georgetown, a desk with a charming story. It's from England's George III period. Its unique top flips open, revealing a leather reading stand that adjusts for comfortable reading. It has many names, from tambour front desk to bureau. The hidden details impress. Even the secondary wood is mahogany. Fancy marble-like paper inside adds a touch of elegance. It's not perfect, though. See those missing corner decorations. Looks like the legs might have had something extra on the bottom, too. Today, at auction, it could fetch...
If you were to see this in a retail setting in its current condition, it would maybe be $3,500 or $4,000.
In a store, it might even go for...
with minor investment and cleaned up, it could be as much as $5,000.
What you notice at first glance of this item is a huge size. This canoe is one of the rarest items seen on the Roadshow. It was carved from stone tools, and the wood used is pine. Despite how old the canoe looks, the item is quite strong and durable, maintaining its longevity. This is a beautiful wooden masterpiece, and at auction, it would retail at the price of...
The last one I saw with the price on it was between $1,500 and $2,000. Mainly who wants them are museums that deal with American Indian culture.
Found in the mountains, this buffalo robe has a story to tell.
He felt like since it was just sitting in his closet that we would do better to have it as a piece of decoration.
Buffalo robes provided warmth, food, and shelter to Native Americans back in the day. This geometric design is called a box and border. To be authentic, a buffalo robe needs specific features. Seeing repairs made with cotton thread, not sinew, is a red flag.
Buffalo, which is what this is,
okay, good.
was critical to the Indians' existence. It gave them shelter, it gave them food, it gave them warmth. And this is a buffalo robe.
Design is close, but the tanning feels off. It might be a home job. It's a charming 20th century replica, still a great find. Decorative pieces like this are rare.
First of all, when the buffalo is skinned and it's tacked out and it's dried and scraped.
Real buffalo robes can be worth millions, but this one is still a great find at $300. Even as a replica, at auction, it could fetch.
On the decorative market, I think this piece is easily worth $1,000 to $2,000.
Okay.
All right?
Yeah.
A letter written by George Harrison expressing his love for the ukulele was brought in by the guest. The guest, a ukulele enthusiast, had published a book on the instrument. At a music trade show, a friend of George Harrison visited his booth and mentioned George's interest in seeing their ukulele collection. Incredibly, George Harrison himself showed up at the guest's house a few days later. They spent hours playing ukuleles together, culminating in the guest's request for George to write a short note about his love for the ukulele. The letter itself is charming and reflects George Harrison's personality. He ended by signing it George Keoki Harrison, his Hawaiian nickname that meant farmer. There was also a little doodle of a pig at the bottom. The letter's value stems from both its sentimental value to the guest and its historical significance as a piece written by a famous musician, while a standard letter from this period by George Harrison might be valued at...
A standard letter written from this period is probably from George Harrison $2,000 to $3,000.
The unique content and the pig doodle significantly increased the estimated value to...
I would put an estimate at auction of $5,000 to $7,000 on this letter.
Wow.
I would insure it for no less than $10,000.
Wow.
Well, what we have here is an elegant piece of Japanese porcelain. It's called Hirado ware. The beautiful blue and white decorations are all hand-painted. In fact, the painting is so fine on these pieces that people often think they're machine-made. And this piece dates from about 1850, which is like the height of the period when this stuff was made. At auction, this piece would easily go for $4,500. This decorative Chinese vase is from the mid-19th century. They call this motif at the top acanthus leaves. And this is what is called faux bois, basically fake wood, but it looks like wood grain. At auction, this piece would go for $2,500. A hair art piece found at an antique store was brought in by a guest. This decorative item, made from hair, was likely created for the Lewis and Clark Exposition, also known as the Portland Centennial Exposition, in 1905. The piece is an interesting example of mourning jewelry, where hair from a deceased loved one was used to create sentimental keepsakes. In this case, however, the long blonde hair suggested it wasn't mourning jewelry, but rather a piece made to commemorate the Lewis and Clark Exposition, possibly by a young girl who donated a significant amount of her hair. The scarcity of items related to the Lewis and Clark Exposition, coupled with the unique nature of hair art, led to the estimated value of the piece at...
I would put a value on this of about $1,500 to $2,000.
Oh, that's great. Thank you so much.
A well-worn armchair that had been in her family since the 1950s was brought in by the guest. Her parents, who were teachers, bought the chair in Denmark as part of their first furniture set when they got married. The chair traveled with the guest throughout her life, from Texas to California, and finally to Alaska. The chair is identified as a GE 240, designed by the famous Danish furniture designer Hans Wegner in 1955. Interestingly, the chair is nicknamed a cigar chair due to the shape of the arms. While the chair showed signs of wear and tear, this was only normal for its age and didn't significantly affect the value. In fact, some minor repairs like reupholstering could even increase the value. The back is interesting, not necessarily quintessential Hans Wegner. It's a little more narrow and more vertical, which is a feature people liked about it. The most surprising aspect of the appraisal was the value itself. Due to the high demand for Hans Wegner furniture, the estimated worth of the chair is to be...
So value-wise, at auction, just the chair would probably bring $4,000 to $6,000.
No way. No way. It's a chair. Are you serious?
This lamp is a family heirloom with a vague history. The guest's husband inherited it from his grandmother.
It's my husband's lamp, and it was given to him by his grandmother in the mid-1970s, and she had had it previously, but I don't know when she received it or who she got it from.
The lamp was crafted and designed by Dirk Kopperlager van Erp, a Dutch-American artisan and prominent figure in the arts and crafts movement. Known for his copper lamps with mica shades, this lamp is a perfect example. The shade is made from copper and formed into a cone with paper-thin mica. The lamp bears the artist's hallmark, verifying its authenticity.
Furthermore, the patina, that patination, that brown coating on this is standard Van Erp patina, rich, silky, deep brown. So all the elements of this lamp are classic Van Erp.
A penetration in the mica shade affects its value, which is estimated at
auction between $6,000 and $9,000. Wow.
On display today is a majestic dagger accompanied by its equally impressive scabbard. Our guest's father had lent a helping hand to an elderly gentleman who in turn bestowed this treasure upon her as a token of gratitude. With a history dating back to the mid-19th century, circa 1850, this remarkable piece was forged in the ancient land of Persia, now modern-day Iran. The presence of human figures on the grip offers a distinctive fingerprint of its history, allowing us to verify its origins with certainty.
It was considered profane to make the human image. And it wasn't until the Qajar dynasty in particular that, because there's nothing in the Quran that prohibits it.
This esteemed piece is commonly referred to as a jambiya, an Arabic term for dagger, thanks to its distinctive curved design. The grip is expertly carved from walrus ivory.
The good thing about it being walrus ivory as opposed to elephant ivory is that it comes with fewer restrictions on selling it. Walrus ivory is regulated under the Marine Mammals Protection Act.
Lavish decorations on this dagger suggest it was crafted more for aesthetic appeal than for battlefield practicality. Complementing this exceptional masterpiece is a striking leather-clad wooden scabbard. These remarkable pieces have been exceptionally well preserved and would have a significant auction estimate of...
At auction, it would probably make somewhere between $5,000 to $7,000.
$5,000 to $7,000?
Yeah. Without the scabbard, I would think that the value is only $3,000 to $5,000. It really elevates the value.
Yeah.
We have here what seemingly looks like a wooden rooftop, but this is an antique wooden oak tree desk with rustic finish. The guest inherited this oak tree desk as an heirloom. The item shows practical design and craftsmanship of the early 20th century, dating it to 1910.
I'm going to start with the date of this. I think it's 1910.
It is unclear as to who manufactured this desk between two furniture makers, Sidney Barnsley and Ernest Gimson, a popular British architect and furniture-making duo of the 18th to 19th century of great influence. Looking inside, we see the desk is versatile, serving both functional and decorative purposes in modern homes.
You say you had it in your bedroom?
Oh, it looks like it.
The sturdy construction and detailed hardware show the quality and attention to detail of its maker. Reflecting on its unique charm and remarkable condition, this handmade desk at an auction could sell for...
I think it would make that at auction in this present state. So I think if you're insuring this, probably even 7,000 or 8,000. And it's going up.
On the show today, we have a collection of etchings by American artists acquired by our guest at an estate sale 15 years ago. This set of 6 etchings was issued by the New Republic magazine in 1924. The collection includes abstract scenes of downtown New York, as well as another etching titled Night Shadows by Edward Hopper. Hopper, known for his work as an American realist painter and printmaker, has contributed to the rarity and allure of these pieces. Remarkably, the etchings are in pristine condition, significantly enhancing their value. We can anticipate that these well-preserved, exceptional etchings will fetch an auction estimate of...
It's going to be around $75,000.
You're kidding.
So I'm not kidding. I'm not.
Our guest's mother received this necklace from her father in the 1950s. Our guest knows little about it, except that she loves it. The appraiser identified the style as 17th century Spanish.
Style is 17th century Spanish, but it's 18th century.
The necklace is woven filigree gold, likely 18 karat, with rose diamonds. These necklaces were made in Spain and Portugal, though the maker is unknown. There are minor issues, including a soft solder repair and a missing penchant. The original box has had its fabric replaced with a later version. At auction, the price this necklace could easily fetch is at
12 to 15,000.
You're joking, my God.
No.
Oh my God.
No. No.
I thought you were going to tell me 1,000 tops.
No.
Unveiling a treasure with ancient origins can be a mesmerizing experience. This stunning urn, inherited by the guest from her late parents, has been a centerpiece of fascination and admiration. Placed prominently in the foyer on an alabaster plant stand, the urn truly captures one's attention. Its design has roots in the first millennium BC China, where similar bronzes served as wine vessels for notable officials. History of China. The serpentine handles and gold splashes, achieved through the intricate process of fire gilding, signal opulence and historical richness.
On top of the bronze itself, these gold splashes that you see on the surface.
Yes.
Created between 1780 and 1810, this piece pays homage to the archaic bronzes beloved by the Qianlong Emperor. Adorned with 6 iterations of the Chinese character for long life, it embodies wishes for longevity and prosperity.
And it's the character for long life, called Shou. And so you have long life in 6 forms, in 6 iterations.
The underside bears a 4-character mark, indicating its creation for the Jade Hall within the Imperial City. Imperial City, China. Large and impressively crafted, such a piece is a rare find in the market today. This urn is both a historical marvel and a testament to imperial luxury, and at an auction, it would fetch
between $30,000 and $50,000.
Oh my God. Well, thank you very much.
Pottery isn't just a vessel, it's a window into cultural history and artistic revival. The guest's grandfather was captivated by the American West. He traveled extensively, journeying 800 miles with Native American tribes such as the Navajo and Hopi in 1916. During these travels, he collected various items from these cultures.
These are really beautiful examples, and I would attribute them as Nampeo.
Oh, really? Oh.
The appraiser inquired about the items. The guest responded, believing they were likely of Hopi origin. Adjacent to the Hopi First Mesa, there was an abandoned 16th century pueblo. Nampeo, born in 1859 and deceased in 1942, lived there. Inspired by pottery shards, Nampeo revitalized an ancient pottery style. Her work became renowned for its grace and frequent use of birdwing designs. Although unsigned, the appraiser confidently attributed the guest's pieces to Nampeo. The items were dated to approximately 1916. While examining the condition of the item, the appraiser said,
Canteen is charming, absolutely charming, and at auction, it put an estimate of maybe $1,200 to $1,800 on it.
Oh, wow.
The bowl has a lug for hanging, and when they would hang them in their own homes, would carry a price of $2,000 to $3,000.
Oh, wow.
The center bowl is as elegant as they can be. It has great form, beautiful color, exquisite painting. I would place its value of $12,000 to $14,000.
Wow.
So.
Well, thank you. That's bad. That's great news.
An icebox was presented that the guest's mother-in-law had received from her cousin's estate. The appraiser was excited, as they've never encountered an icebox collector before. The box exhibited detailed construction, including lead lining, a box for ice, and a functional drain at the bottom. All the features are typical of a real icebox, making it quite interesting. Given its high level of detail, the appraiser concluded that the icebox was likely a salesman's sample rather than a toy. Salesman's samples were miniatures used to demonstrate full-sized products to consumers. The guest was pleased with the information and the appraised value of the item.
If something like this were to come up at auction, I would say this one's probably about a $2,000 salesman sample. Wow, that's great. Thank you very much.
This guest exhibited a pair of paintings that had been in her family for decades.
And how far back in your family do they go?
We don't know that exactly, but it's possible that they purchased them from him.
The paintings might seem like a simple arrangement of fruits and flowers, but each element was carefully chosen to convey a deep meaning. These exceptional pieces were beautifully done in 1865 by John F. Francis. Francis was an American painter, known primarily for his still lifes. Although Francis typically painted on canvas, these particular works are rendered in oil on wooden panels.
Now these are oil on panel. Francis usually painted on canvas, but for the smaller works, he usually would use panel. I guess he felt more comfortable.
One of the paintings, the one closest to the guest, portrays dessert subjects, featuring a glass cup containing milk, a spoon, and a plate full of red fruits. The painting closest to the appraiser depicts fruits, such as 2 apples on a plate, an apple and some berries on the tabletop. Moreover, the back of these paintings reveals that they are signed and dated by the artist. Interestingly, these paintings still retain their original frames and are in pristine condition. Given their condition and the fact that the original frames are still intact, this pair of paintings by John F. Francis would fetch an auction price of
$100,000 for the pair.
Fun.